Welcome to Picks with the Professor, a sports betting show brought to you by a real statistics professor and his friends. Myself, Cousin Jared, and the professor here with you for picks for Friday, April 18th. Good Friday. We talked yesterday about how the holiday has snuck up on us. We have updated the slides, something that we have been talking about since baseball season started. The slides have finally been updated. And we're going to start out with the MLB recap. We went 2-1 on our picks on the free show yesterday. Don't have that here as of yet.
A rare case where it's done before we start recording. Usually we can't talk about it because we're like, well, all the games are happening right now.
I felt like a broken record coming on here every night and saying, don't know how we did the previous night. We know how we did. We went 2-1. And you can see this year down slightly. It's early, small sample size, not too concerned about that. But you can see A grades and free show picks have done well the past couple of years. And if you need even more evidence, it's not just baseball where, we kind of know what we're talking about. College football has been really good the past couple of years. So has NFL and NHL so far this season. Professor, I really like what you did there with the bankroll increase. I feel like that's going to help our viewers, help me even kind of understand some of the growth, the compounding, I guess, it was the way you put it.
And myself, honestly, because sometimes these are weird concepts because we typically think about ROI in terms of a year. And so when we see these smaller numbers, we don't realize that daily ROIs can be really small and super profitable because we just think of ROI as a yearly thing. So that was good. The other thing, too, people to point out, and you probably know this if you're here with us, but just in case you aren't, and I'll try to remind people of this as new people come along, every day, thankfully here. NHL, we didn't even do official picks on it last year. I just built the thing last year. So there's nothing official for that to put even from the season before. I've got the last 2 years of football data up here. The previous slide had the last year of baseball data. I had a slide with previous 2 seasons of baseball even before that and more information than this with other stuff. But at some point I was like, this is too busy. I got to get rid of some stuff. So we landed here. But it's like there's more winning. It's just I can't even fit it on the dang slide. So that's really all I got to say.
And one thing that we've I say you and I have learned, really it's that probably third year, really, when the model starts kind of coming into its own. It's got the sideline has a lot of learning to do. You have a lot of learning.
I have a lot of learning to do in my programming and modeling.
I have a lot of learning to do as far as model interpretation and whatnot. So the NHL, honestly, I'm excited about the 15 units up this season because I think that's only going to get better next year. So if you
the only thing with hockey is I feel like it's the most volatile sport to bet on. And we talked about college basketball being terrible, but I swear the swings in hockey have been every week is like we're either going to make 20 units or lose 15. I don't know what we're going to do this week.
Well, I am very concerned when playoff hockey starts because not only could the results be variable to our profits, but also just playoff hockey is raises your heart rate 50% anyway. It could be a crazy NHL playoffs, I would say.
Since we're recording this in the literal last game of the NHL season is being played right now, of course, it's a good time to remind people of the joke several years ago from Twitter, of course, that playoff overtime hockey is the equivalent of doing cocaine while jumping out of a motorcycle or jumping out of a helicopter while on a motorcycle. It's about right. Any of those things, but
that does feel about right. And of course, with the 3-on-3, it's 3-on-3 in the playoffs too.
Not in the playoffs, no.
Not in the playoffs. Okay, well, even overtime hockey is a little bit different anyway. Because 3-on-3 in a regular season. Anyway, let's not get on that. So if you want to be a part of all of that green you saw on the last page, join us over on Dub Club. Get access to the honor roll package, which gets you access to Discord, projections, probabilities, and price thresholds for all of the sports that we just talked about, detailed notes on every game. And if you join using the link in the show description, you will get half off of your first month. So don't miss out on that. So let's see here. And just a couple of reminders about sidelines, like the professor alluded to. If you're new here, this is a player-based model, so the ratings reflect the current roster. I like to try to think of a player off the top of my head that just recently went on the injured list. We'll be talking about the Padres tonight. So Jackson Merrill on the injured list. Cronenworth went on the injured list. So sideline knows all of that, who's available, who's not available. Average grade is 100. Higher implies more runs. You want your offense to have a higher grade grade, pitching and defense to have a lower grade. We're projecting average games, but in one game, anything can happen. And backing any team, it says here anything is a good bet. I'm going to say backing any team is good at the right price. Maybe reflected by
you need a big number.
And maybe reflected by the teams that we're both representing here. So just remember, it's all about the numbers here. So without further ado, the first game that we're going to talk about for Friday, April 18th, is the Padres at the Astros. First pitch on this one, 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Kyle Hart for the Padres versus Ryan Gusto for the Astros. Offenses here about a wash. Starting pitching here, about a wash. The edge goes to the Astros, though neither starting pitcher is necessarily great. Hart is one of the more not good pitchers, according to Sideline. Astros have a slight edge as far as the relievers go. All of this being taken into consideration, Sideline has the Astros winning 61% of the time, a total of 9.1. The official pick from the professor on this one is going to be Astros minus 136. Why do we like backing the Astros here at home?
Well, it's interesting. Anytime you have a team that's 8-10 going up against a team that's 15-4, and you can lay a price, you kind of have to, right? And I say that half jokingly, but it is almost like there's something to what was the stat in college basketball that you hear every year come February, where it's like home underdogs who are unranked playing ranked teams that are traveling are like 60% against the spread or something. And it's like there's built-in value because everyone's like, oh, the road team's so good. And it's almost like the same thing here. It's like built-in value of like people have got to be looking at these records and the Padres, how they started, and everyone's got to be like, oh, let's put money on the Padres. It's a cheap price. Plus odds, we're never going to get this. It's like there's plus odds for a reason. Right. And you touched on them here, the offensive issues, the Astros offense obviously taking a big hit. This year, losing a guy like Kyle Tucker, we knew that was going to hurt. And then on top of that, you have the potential decline of Altuve. We knew losing Bregman would hurt. Obviously, replacing that with a guy like Paredes, but we knew the offense would take a little bit of a step back. It's the Padres that we thought would take a step back that looked amazing that maybe now have taken a step back because of those injuries you mentioned, losing those two guys off of the roster. When I look at it now, it's starting to look a whole lot more like that opening day roster that we were worried about, except even worse. So we talked about that at the time, that the biggest issue the Padres were going to have was going to be the depth. And that's what's happening now as the model's projecting more than half of their 9 hitters in the lineup to be below league average, with a couple of bench guys that are around the dregs of should they even be on a major league roster at this point. And they weren't on a major league roster, of course, a couple days ago. And that's the problem. And that's what's bringing this Padres offense, which has been incredible and still has Tatis and still has Machado, who has not, gone away completely yet. But it's led to this fact that this Padres offense now ranks right around the middle of the pack. And so you've got similar offenses, similar relievers. And the last thing I want to talk about here is the starter, because we're Astros fans. We talk about that a lot, and we talk about we're very comfortable fading our team, no matter the sport, no matter the situation. We probably end up fading them more than we back them because we're probably a little bit more on the pessimistic side. But it is always fun to back your team in a situation where you think they might have value. And I think that's the case here specifically because I don't think that the market is understanding the difference between these two pitchers, that it is real and that it exists. Very similar to what we talked about yesterday with the Rangers and Angels with Kumar Rocker and Jack Kohanowitz, which played out about like we said, actually. It hung under their force, thankfully. We had the Rangers as an A grade, I think one of our top plays as well for our people over on Dub Club. And one of the things I pointed out yesterday was these guys, people are going to look at these numbers and say they're the same, but Rocker's the better pitcher. And he had, I think, 7 innings tonight, 8 strikeouts. Looked fantastic. And that's, I think, the thing here with Kyle Hart and Ryan Gusto, and that I think they're both pretty equally crappy as these pitchers were here in Anaheim and Texas. Again, relative to their profession, right? They're still amazing pitchers, but relatively speaking. But Gusto, I think, is kind of like Rocker. I think he's maybe okay. He's only had the 1 start this year, but he has pitched out of the bullpen. The underlying metrics are okay. I think he's going to be meh. But Kyle Hart's the one that you have to be really concerned about if you're a Padres fan. As good as things have gone, 3 starts, ERA, FIP, XFIP, all above 5. He actually projects slightly lower than that, but it's not like there's anything that you can look at the numbers to give you hope. And then the cherry on top, the Astros, as we've always talked about, right-handed heavy, that got even more extreme. Not that Tucker was bad against lefties, he's one of the better ones, but Yordan Alvarez is literally one of the best left-handed hitters ever against left-handed pitching. And depending on the metric, some have him as the best lefty against lefties. He's the only lefty in the Astros lineup. So they love facing lefties. The Padres at this point, with some of their injuries specifically, are a little bit right-handed heavy as well. They also want to face a lefty. So they're going up against a righty. Astros go up against a lefty. I think the Astros score early and often.
Yeah. I don't have much to add to that, although the only thing I'll say is I was watching the Padres Cubs game. I think it was on Wednesday, maybe. And like, even with those guys being on the injured list for the Padres, 2/3 of their lineup still had an above league average OPS. And that is just, in my opinion, not sustainable for a team that has as many injuries. And I mean, the first show that we talked about this season, we were like, well, what's the offensive depth for the Padres? I can tell you with Cronenworth on the IL and Merrill on the IL, they're not going to have 2/3 of their lineup with an above average OPS, going forward. So Sideline gives the Astros, slightly behind the Padres offense here. I think the Astros are slightly ahead. So that combined with the starting pitching, I'm good with laying that number with the Astros as well. And if you want an example of all the types of information you get over on Dub Club, here is exactly what all of the Dub Club members get. They get this breakdown for every single game, every single day. And Professor, I think all of your information there on the right-handed versus left-handed breakdown is something that is included right there in these notes. So you get that
right there, that highlighted line, that third or second number right there, Padres offensive rating versus right-handed pitching, Astros offensive rating versus left-handed pitching. And you can see right there, that's one of the big reasons that we've got some value here is the lefty-righty with the pitchers. I think it's all about the pitching.
Yeah, and you talked about it, Gusto. Some of the more advanced metrics like him a lot more than Kyle Hart. So all this information available if you join us over on Dub Club. Second game that we are going to talk about, and I don't know if I want to say the A's are currently my favorite team to back or the White Sox are my favorite team to fade. I haven't figured out what the right answer is on that one. But the second game that we're going to talk about is the A's at the Brewers. First pitch on this one, 8:10 p.m. Eastern. JT Ginn on the mound for the A's going up against Freddie Peralta for the Brewers. A's offense, playing in Sacramento certainly seems to help. Playing the White Sox certainly seems to help. Not sure the A's are number 5, but they're definitely not bad. I think Soderstrom is leading the league.
I'm going to predict that all season we're going to say this. I'm going to predict August. The model's going to have them top 10, and we're going to be like, we've been saying it all year. I don't know if they're really this different. And come August, they're going to be like 65 and 62, and we're going to be like,
well, and Soderstrom's leading the league in homers. They're putting Rooker in the outfield because they have a really hot prospect who's tearing up AAA. They want to get some at bats in the big league. So the A's offense,
got some offense.
The A's offense has looked good so far. They're making some moves to try to make it even a little bit better. Not the same for the Brewers. The Brewers have just had challenges all around so far this year. Freddie Peralta, honestly, one of the only starting pitchers that the Brewers have that has been decent so far, or grades out decently by sideline. They've had a lot of injuries with a couple of players on the IL there. The relievers are about a wash. Sideline thinks that the A's win this one 48% of the time, and so that makes the A's at plus 138 a good play. Professor, why did you decide that we wanted to talk about the A's, or why did I decide that we want to talk about the A's, and what are you going to say about the A's if I decided we were going to talk about them?
It is funny on this one. I think we were kind of like eyeing the same three things to talk about. Although I said enough on the previous game. I feel like I talked enough. Like I've ran out of words. I don't have anything else to say about, but that's obviously not true. We all know.
Yeah.
JT Ginn, has only made the one start this year, below average according to the model, but not terrible. Obviously, he's outmatched by Freddie Peralta, right? Nobody's going to deny that. Peralta's a much better pitcher. We don't even have to talk about this year's stuff. This year so far, so good for him. He's looked good. The issue is the offense on the other side, and the Brewers and their lack of ability to score runs, the lack of runs that have happened at It's not Miller Park anymore. It's like American Family Field Insurance or something, right?
We would probably be ashamed how long ago that name changed from Miller Park.
Yeah.
I don't
It was
know.
probably like 6 years ago.
I would not be surprised if it was like 15. We don't have to.
If it was 15, I'm gonna feel really dumb.
Okay, well, anyway, you keep talking. I'll find out when the name changed.
No, I'm already looking it up. I'm already here.
Okay, well, we've digressed.
It was 15. Changed on January 1st, 2021. So it was like 4 years ago.
Okay, yeah, that's not
I feel
bad.
good.
Okay, point for you.
Otherwise, we're gonna be in trouble. So back to this game. Yeah, we've diverged here. That Brewers offense is just a problem, and that's I think going to be the washout. Make this kind of completely who the heck knows. And you can see their sidelines got it at 48%. The model's basically giving the Brewers a slight lean for playing the game at home, and I tend to agree with that. I think they should be slightly favored. They are slightly favored, but by too much, in our opinion. So we've got the A's being able to take them here as the dog. Hopefully they get us another win on Friday. They get us the win on Thursday as a favorite, laying money with the A's as a road favorite. I mean, it's got to be a life experience that is exhilarating. If you've experienced it with us, folks, it's something. And, it's at least more fun to be backing them as a dog where we're more comfortable. But a game that the model thinks is, like I said, fairly close to 50-50. And so we're getting that plus 138 price. It's just too good to pass up for, again, a game where I don't have any idea what's going to happen. If this game's 2-1 or 8-7, I'd be like, sure.
Yeah, this feels similar to me to the Tigers and Royals game that we talked about yesterday. Whereas, there may be some things I don't know, but yesterday I could count on the Royals not scoring very many runs, and I have a feeling that might be the same way with the Brewers here. Exactly. And so at that point, getting the A's plus odds is going to be good. There will be A's games where I cannot say this season, but I may look into an A's +1 play.
Oh wow!
So if that's something
that makes a lot of sense. I like that. It strikes me as a little bit weird, but I like that because knowing how low scoring some of those games from Milwaukee have been, the type of game they want to play Peralta on the mound.
Yeah,
it just seems 1-0, 2-1.
Yeah, and it's probably going to be around even odds. So I may be something I would dabble in. Just not having any faith in this Brewers team. I think that run's going to be.
Right now, it'd be minus 105.
Yeah. Okay. So I've
got a program that once I get the odds in there, it automatically tells me what all the other odds would be that derive from that. So
I'm fine. I'm fine with that. Again, this specific game. The A's playing at home and the runs that we've seen in Sacramento. Yeah. Forget.
Or in the games that they've played against a team like, a Padres or a Cubs or a team with a crazy offense, right? A Dodgers.
Yeah.
That's Yankees is going to be very different than playing, when they play on the road, like you said, and then teams like the Brewers, lower scoring is kind of that perfect storm where, at home game against some of those other teams, you'd rather just be like the Rockies, treat them like I'd rather play the minus 1.5 and just take big plus odds because this game is going to be weird,
Yep. So if you're looking for a slightly different angle, that's how I would tackle this one. So the last game that we are going to talk about, and we're going for the bottom of the barrel here, folks. We're going to talk about.
There are reasons to watch this game.
I can't wait to hear them. Nationals
I got
Rockies. Okay. First pitch, 8:40 p.m. Eastern. Mackenzie Gore. I think that has to be a reason to watch this game. On the mound, going up against Chase Dollander for the Rockies. Again, Professor, I don't know if you watched the solo show I did, but I read our entire text conversation from last Friday night, which was me saying the Rockies suck. And that was the entire thing. The Rockies aren't good. And we have said I vividly remember past seasons where I could come on here and we could talk about how the Rockies have the 24th or 25th best offense, but at Coors Field, you can still do something with that. Mm-hmm. I'm not even sure that Coors Field can do anything.
I'm pretty sure we said this last year. We were like it's been bad.
Yeah, it's been really bad. Sideline projects the total in this one as 7.5. We're going
of course.
We're going under 9. So
the total at Coors is 9.
Yeah,
it's not 9.5. It's 9.
Yeah. So besides the Rockies offense just completely stinking, because that's my analysis. Why do you like going under 9 here?
I'm gonna start off with something that is completely wrong. So please nobody come at me like I really mean this, because there's math that goes against this. But part of me really hopes that by like tomorrow, or by the time you're watching this now, because we're recording this on Thursday night, by like noon on Friday, part of me hopes this totals at 8.5. Just because that'll make me really feel like I've got the right side. Because man, if it's like, just put all your money on the under at that point. Because if it's in bet to 8.5, my goodness, like we just never see totals like this in Coors. They never have the pitching. They're never facing the pitching, whatever it may be. And so, we're gonna go under here. Models a 7.5. I mean, this is insane for Coors. A hot summer day in Coors, wind blowing out, you might see a total of 13, 14 from the model, because the model is just like every ball is going to be a home run, and the balls that don't leave the yard are going to find the grass because that outfield's so big. Yeah. And this is like the exact opposite of that. We've seen a lot of low scoring games in Denver in April in the last couple of years, and we've taken advantage of it. And I don't really see any reason why we shouldn't here. I also love the first 5 under whenever that comes out as well. Almost doesn't even matter what the number is, because it's going to for sure be valuable to us. Obviously get the best number, but the fear here you have is the relievers. The fear here is that this game's going to be 1-0 after 7. And then relievers come in and walk guys in and start giving up, broken bat singles and crap, because these relievers are terrible. Yeah. But otherwise, these offenses are so bad. Mackenzie Gore is fantastic. He's number one reason to watch this game. Is right now, Sidelin's got him at number 15. He's a young guy with a lot of potential, a lot of promise. The sky's the limit for him. And at this point, he's on the rise. He started off the season a whole lot lower than that. And the reason to watch him in this game is, hey, Coors is a tough place, but that Rockies offense is very good. If he goes in there and has a good start, he's got a chance to make a run here at being a top 5 NL pitcher, a Cy Young candidate type thing here. And so he's, reason for admission enough. But the other guy, Chase Dollander, I think is as well a top prospect, I believe, out of Tennessee, guy who throws 172 miles an hour, approximately. A guy that I'm sure Jake's watched a lot. Jake has him, rosters him in our fantasy or dynasty league. I was going to go see if I could pick him up, and of course Jake has him. That makes sense. But he's actually pretty good too. I mean, we don't see a lot of rookie pitchers after one start getting a 107 from sideline. Usually the rookie pitchers are 120s, 130s. And when we get a guy who comes up and after that first start or so, or even before the first starts in the 90s or around 100, we're like, oh, maybe this guy's not bad. And that's the thing, is that we got one really good starter, another decent one, and some bad offenses. So loving the under here. Loving the first 5 under even more, because the relievers are the big concern. And then the second reason I was going to give you to watch this game, the last reason why we like this under, is all about the weather. We're talking 30, 35, 34, 33 degrees for this game.
Yeah, cold.
We're talking about 50 to 60% chance of precipitation. And we're talking about a 10 mile-an-hour wind blowing in. Ball isn't going to go anywhere. Last asterisk, you may not even get to watch this game because it may not happen. Because this may be a game that the Rockies are like, we don't even want to play this game because the weather's so miserable. Yeah. That's a risk we take. Recording like this, we won't know. We should know early enough in the day. They are usually going to be early enough there. They have some of the best grounds crew. It's not going to be about the field. It's going to be about, do they just want to do this? And they should know early enough in the day. We should get an early postponement if they're like, look, this is miserable for our fans and everyone. We've got time. We'll do this later. On the other hand, the Nats only make the one trip to Denver. If they say we're going to play it, it's going to be miserable weather and miserable baseball, and I'm going to love watching every minute of it. Also, there's only one game that starts after this, so there's other reasons to watch it too. It's just nothing else beyond. That's definitely true. So the only thing I would add to everything that you say, which you did a really good job of covering it all there. Another reason to watch and another reason I like this play, Dollander has a 5 ERA right now, but Sideline likes his advanced metrics even more. 3.29 FIP, 4.38. XFIP, 4.38 park neutral projection, which for a guy with 2 starts, a 4.3 park neutral projection is not anything to sneeze at. So I think he definitely has more upside than downside here. So I'll be interested to see how he handles the Nationals offense, which has been up and down so far. If I did a quick counting right, there are 11 other pitchers who have a worse park neutral projection than he does pitching on Friday. So definitely, he's
Not bad at all. The ERA might be a little bit misleading there.
And his ERA is going to stay higher pitching in course. He's going to get his FIP will be higher than his xFIP, right? If you've been here with us before, you've heard us talk about that's the difference between the two is actual home run rate versus expected. His expected home run rate is going to be smaller because when half games are in course, you're going to give up more home runs than you would be expected to because you're part.
Yep. And see, that's why you're the professor. You have all of this great information for us. So if you want more picks from the professor and his team, we've been talking about it. A-grade model only plays package now available for 99 cents. I feel like this is a line from Thrift Shop, that song by Macklemore. So yeah, that is now a thing. I assume link in the show description.
Link in the show description gets you the 99 cents, right? It'll be like the old picks only package. It's just a subtle tweak of instead of trying to figure out I'm going to do this or let's do this or let's play this B grade or whatever. It's going to be, you know what? When we look at all the data, all the A grades kick ass. Let's just do an A grades package and just give people that because that's just really if you just want a small thing, that's the small bit you want, and then you come to get everything else as well if you want more, and that's where the link to the show description will get you that first month discount. So those are cheaper. It'll be regular $9.99, so regularly under $10 a month. But you can get that first month for $100. So no reason not to try it out and see those A-grade model picks because they tear it up. It seems like all the time.
even more value for the person who just wants kind of go on autopilot. I would say get your $10 a month. If you're the person who wants to sit down and evaluate every single thing, like we've seen before, you've got the Dub Club complete package there where you can get breakdowns on every single game. And yeah, just remember to follow us on social media. The professor has his 5 graduate assistants, whatever you want to call them, who are putting out great content there. On
if someone has a better, more cute name, let me know. I'm open.
Yeah,
that was a cute thing. You know.
Yes, we're always open for recommendations here. We're a group of the people. So
people are creative with their names and suggestions. If you've got them, send them along. You know.
Definitely. Any final thoughts to leave our viewers with for this upcoming baseball weekend?
I feel like the baseball season just started, and yet it feels like we're already deep enough that we're getting to some conclusions, which is an interesting place to be. This is kind of my favorite time of year after a few weeks because nobody knows what to do. And the model is built to handle how do we do with this early season information and how much do we weight it, and is built to weight it appropriately rather than our human brains giving too much credence to what we just saw or not enough credence to what we just saw. And I love this time of year. This is when things typically take off for us here. Middle, late April into May is usually just a really fun time. And so I'm looking forward to it. I'm optimistic, and hopefully we can have the NHL playoffs. You talk about the NHL playoffs. That's coming up too as well, starting on Saturday.
Yeah.
The thing about the NHL playoffs, so if you're still with us here on this, that my recommendation to you, my caution to you, and the same thing about the NBA Astros, that zigzag theory game after game one, that's a real thing, by the way. But other than that, the biggest thing is that your edges are gonna a lot of times be the same on every game, and that's risky because when you're playing a 7-game series and you kind of see the market a little bit different, or see the game different in the market, you're going to kind of like the same things every game unless something changes and you're found out that you're right or really wrong, and the market then really adjusts or you really adjust. 2 years ago, that worked really to my advantage. The Stars made a deeper run. I'd been watching them a lot, and so I was able to just destroy. There were back-to-back rounds in the Stars. I think I won like 11 of 12 or something. It was insane. But then last year was the other way around, where we had a lot of edges, but like the game just kind of kept going the wrong way, and it was just that's the thing. You're repeating that same thing, and it's tough to know and adjust and figure that out. So playoffs are tough. So everyone I would just say be cautious with these playoffs, because when you get these repeated games, it can really, if you're nailing it and seeing it right, you can really help your bankroll, but you can really destroy it too. So I just be careful, people. Our bankroll's precious resources, and I want to make sure that we're having fun betting these playoff games, but let's be thinking about, it's not like baseball. Baseball's very different with the starting pitcher change, right?
Yep.
So every game we can swing back and forth in the totals and the weather, but you don't have that in hockey and basketball. And so it's a lot of just, be careful, because if we're a little bit off and the matchups just don't go the way we're thinking and the sample size isn't big enough, you can do a lot of damage to yourself in a short window. So hopefully we can have a more fun, NHL playoffs. It's like, it's always it's all or nothing.
Well, well, yeah. You kind of already mentioned that the NHL is its own separate animal, and I think the NHL playoffs are just going to be crazy no matter what. Whether we win or lose, I think they're going to be crazy.
It'll be fun either way.
It'll be I don't know. I don't know what the right word is. Your heart rate will be elevated.
Yeah.
You're gonna be excited.
You'll be entertained. If you're looking for entertainment, you will be entertained.
For me this weekend, I'm just the NL Central. The top 4 teams are separated by 2 games, and I think all the teams aren't really good. Whereas NL West, the top 4 teams are separated by 3 games as of right now, and I think they're all pretty good.
And they're all good.
Yeah. And so I want to see how the NL Central standings and NL West standings look like after this weekend. I'll probably be talking about that on Sunday night when we record. But that is all that we have for your picks for Friday, April 18th. Hope that you all enjoyed the picks. Good luck on all of your bets. And remember, you can eat your betting money, but please don't bet your eating money.